Afternoon. It's Wednesday as we continue walking through the last week leading to the cross and the resurrection, and we're taking passages of scripture that likely coincide with the days of the week leading up to those things. And so today is Wednesday, and we're reading about Jesus as he continues to teach, but in that present himself as he is. And that ultimate question, we hinted at it yesterday, who is Jesus? Earlier in John, he writes that he's the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Here in Luke chapter 20, verse 41 says, how can they say the Christ is David's son? For David himself says in the book of Psalms, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. David thus calls him Lord, so how is he his son? And in hearing of all the people, he said to his disciples, beware of the scribes. They like to walk in long robes and love greetings in the marketplaces and the best seats in the synagogues and the places of honor at feasts, who devour widows' houses and for a pretense make long prayers. They will receive the greater condemnation. Jump over to chapter 22 of Luke. It says, now the feast of unleavened bread drew near, which is called the Passover, and the chief priests and the scribes were seeking how to put him to death, for they feared the people. Verse 3, then Satan entered into Judas, called Iscariot, who was of the number of the 12. He went away and conferred with the chief priests and officers how he might betray him to them. And they were glad and agreed to give him money. So he consented and sought an opportunity to betray him to them in the absence of a crowd. Why? Maybe Jesus didn't fit Judas's box. Jesus wasn't going to take over Rome that day. He wasn't there to destroy all the enemies the way maybe he was hoping and thinking. And so maybe he felt that if I do this, he'll have to do something dramatic, something powerful. Everyone will see, everyone will know. And Jesus had already referred back to the Old Testament to declare who he is. And all those that heard that could have put it all together. But they didn't. Why? Excuse me. Sometimes we want Jesus to act and to do things how we want. And he's God. He's going to do things according to his timetable and according to who he is, not the way we feel he should. And maybe that's what's behind Judas. We don't know. It's kind of a sad statement. Wednesday, there's not much happening. The big teachings happen on Tuesday. By the time you get to Wednesday, there's not much left to say. The enemies of Jesus are circling around. They're just trying to figure out how they can get to him. And Satan uses Judas to accomplish that, to prepare for that moment. Take some time today to think about and reflect on the times where God didn't give you what you asked for. Maybe he gave you what you needed. Maybe the timing wasn't how you were hoping. Think through the Gospels and what we see of who Jesus is. Even as we have just begun in the Gospel of Luke, we see that he, in chapter 2, became submissive to his parents. And so we have this big gap from a few months old to 12, and then from 12 to 30, where we just simply know that he grew in wisdom with both God and man, and he was obedient to his parents. Like, well, how come there isn't some lavish stories of Jesus doing this or that? That'd make things a lot easier. If we knew he just did all these crazy adventures and, showed people. There's a faith involved. And so somewhere Judas lost the way. And Jesus didn't meet his expectations. No, it's an extreme kind of point, granted. But it's in the Bible. Judas went and was looking for a way to betray Jesus. It's not always easy to follow, to be a disciple, the way, the truth, and the life. It's a narrow path. But if it's a path that you're following Jesus on, you can make it. Have a great rest of your day.